Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the program. The day we've all been waiting for is finally here, and it's my pleasure to bring you the grand finale of the 2004-2005 edition of the National Science and Math Quiz. The two schools competing for this beautiful cup right here are St. Peter's Secondary School and Opoku Ware Secondary School. The cup, your guess is as good as mine. We'll find out within the next hour. Let's now meet the contestants. St. Peter's Secondary School is to my right and represented by
Owusu-Arko SS3. Abondo David SS3.
To my left, we have Opoku Ware Secondary School represented by
Emmanuel Comfrey. Appear Joseph SS3.
Gentlemen, you are welcome. I believe you are now veterans and you know the rules, so we'll move straight into round one. St. Peter's, your question. Name the first four elements of Group 2A. The first four elements of Group 2A. David?
Beryllium, magnesium, calcium, and strontium.
And that is correct. Opoku Ware Secondary, name the last four members of Group 7A. The last four. Yes, Anthony?
Radium, xenon, krypton, and argon.
That is not correct. Group 7A, yes?
Ascatine, iodine, bromine, and fluorine.
That is correct. St. Peter's Secondary. What is meant by the following statement? The electrochemical equivalent of copper is 3.3 times 10 to the power negative 7 kilogram per coulomb. What is meant by that statement? Yes, Solomon.
It means that when 1 coulomb of charge is passed to an electrochemical cell containing copper, it deposits 3.3 times 10 to the power minus 7 kilograms of the copper.
That is correct. Opoku Ware Secondary, what does the following statement mean? The resistivity of copper is 1.5 times 10 to the power negative 8 ohm meter. Yes, Opon.
It means that the resistance of the copper of length 1 meter and the unit cross-sectional area is 1.5 times 10 to the power minus 8 ohm.
That is correct. St. Peter's Secondary, make y the subject of the formula 1 over x minus 1 over y equals 1 over z. David?
Y equals xz all over z minus x.
That is correct. Opoku Ware, make L the subject of the equation t equals 2 pi square root of L over G. Yes, Opon.
L equals gt squared over 4 pi squared.
That is correct. St. Peter's. What do hemoglobin and myoglobin have in common? Yes, Solomon.
They are oxygen transporting pigments.
And that is correct. Opoku Ware Secondary, structurally, what do hair and feathers have in common? Upon
They are thin, dead, and keratinized.
keratinized is correct. St. Peter's, name the main functional group in beeswax. The main functional group in beeswax. Emmanuel.
Esters.
Esters, that's correct. Opoku Ware Secondary, name one saturated fatty acid and one unsaturated fatty acid obtained from vegetable oils and fats. Yes, Joseph.
Palmitic acid and oleic acid.
That is correct. You have one attempt only for this set of questions. St. Peter's, how does an electron acquire a negative charge? A, from an imbalance of subatomic particles. B, by induction or contact with charged objects. C, from the friction of certain objects rubbing together. D, the charge is a fundamental property of an electron. One attempt. Yes, Solomon.
The charge is a fundamental property of.
That is correct. Opoku Ware Secondary, the condensation of water vapor, A, warms the surroundings, B, cools the surroundings, C, sometimes warms and sometimes cools the surroundings depending on the relative humidity at the time, D, neither warms nor cools the surroundings. Upon.
Warm the surroundings.
That is correct. St. Peter's, if x plus 3 is a factor of x squared plus ax plus 2a, find the value of a. Solomon.
9.
9 is correct. Opoku Ware Secondary, if x equals 2, it's a root of the equation 3x squared minus 2ax minus 4 equals 0. Evaluate A. Yes, Anthony.
A is 2.
A is 2. St. Peter's, what name is given to the sac that covers the heart? The sac that covers the heart. Emmanuel.
The pericardium membrane.
Is the pericardium. Opoku Ware Secondary, what name is given to the thick muscular layer of the heart wall? The thick muscular layer of the heart wall. Joseph?
Septum.
No. The thick muscular layer of the heart wall. Upon.
Pericardium. Ventricle.
You've had more than 3 chances. Yes, Solomon.
Myocardium.
Is the At the end of the first round, here are the scores. Opoku Ware Secondary School has 21 points. St. Peter's Secondary School has 25 points. We'll move on to round 2. And we start with Opoku Ware this time. It is required to dilute 10 liters of a 30% acid solution to obtain a 10% acid solution by simply adding pure water. Find the volume of water required for this purpose. Yes, Emmanuel.
30 liters.
It is not 30 liters. Anthony?
20 liters.
It's 20 liters. St. Peter's, 60 liters of a 20% alcohol solution is mixed with 40 liters of a 40% alcohol solution. Find the concentration of the mixture. Yes, Emmanuel.
That's 0.028.
It is not correct. Yes, Solomon.
28%.
It's 28%. Opoku Ware Secondary. The second stage of photosynthesis is often referred to as the dark stage. Why is this not an accurate description of this stage, and what would be a better term for this stage? Yes, Opon.
Because the process can still take place in the presence of light, and the best name should be the carbon benzyl cycle.
Yes, Anthony.
This is because the dark stage occurs in the stroma, and can also occur during the day, and should not be called the dark stage since it does not occur perfectly in the dark, but can be called the carbon benzyl stage.
I'll give you 2 out of 3. Yes, the term is not accurate because it can also occur in light, and therefore a better name will be light independent stage. Okay, your question, St. Peter's. The term cold-blooded is used to describe reptiles, fish, and amphibians. Why is this not an accurate term, and what do you think would be a better term? Yes, Solomon.
It is not good because their blood is not cold. Their blood, the temperature of their body fluctuates with increasing, so it can be hot or cold. So another name should be for ectothermic.
2 out of 3. A better term will be variable temperatured animals or something to that effect. Your question, Opoku Ware Secondary. What are pheromones? What are pheromones, Anthony?
Pheromones are certain secretions given off by insects used for demarcation and identification of themselves, or to caution when there is alarm or anything. They are hormones or liquids which are secreted by insects in communication. That's helping communicate.
You kept on saying insects. I'll give you 2 out of 3. They are chemical substances used for communication among living species. Quite a number of animals use pheromones, not just insects. St. Peter's. Prostaglandins are a group of very powerful hormone-like chemical substances which perform many biological functions. Name one functional group in prostaglandins. Solomon.
Dihydroxy-OH group.
That is correct. Opoku Ware Secondary. An instrument has 3 identical strings subjected to tensions of 5 newtons, 10 newtons, and 20 newtons. Which string will produce a note of the highest frequency when sounded, and why? 1 attempt only. Yes, Opon.
The 20 Newton, the string, the 20 Newton tension is because by the relation, the frequency is proportional to the root of the tension.
That is correct. St. Peter's Secondary. 2 springs of equal length are subjected to equal loads and then set in oscillation. One spring is found to oscillate with a period of 20 seconds and the other with a period of 15 seconds. Which spring has a greater spring constant and why? 1 attempt. Yes, David.
The one which has a period of 20 seconds. This is because the period is inversely proportional to the square root of the spring constant.
Period is inversely proportional to the square root of the spring constant. And you're saying that the 20 newtons one, I'll give you 1 out of 3. Because period is inversely proportional to the square root of the spring constant, it will be the one with the 15-second period, okay? Opoku Ware Secondary. The 3rd term of an AP is 7, and the 10th term is 21. Find the sum of the first 10 terms of the AP. Yes, Opon.
3, 5, 7, 9.
The sum of the first 10 terms of the AP. Yes, Opon.
3 times 2 to the power 9.
I won't take that. Yes, Joseph. 50. No. For a bonus, David.
165.
It is 120. Your own question, St. Peter's. The second term of an exponential sequence, that's a GP, is 15, and the fourth term is 375. Find the first term A and the common ratio R. Yes, Emmanuel.
The common ratio is plus or minus 500. First term is plus or minus 3.
That is correct. There's a common preamble. SO3 decomposes to SO2 and O2 in a reversible reaction as follows. 2SO3 gas going to 2SO2 gas plus O2 gas. Delta H is 200 kilojoules per mole. Opoku Ware Secondary. Predict the effect of increasing temperature on the equilibrium concentration of SO2 and the equilibrium constant. Yes, Opon.
Increasing the temperature causes the equilibrium to shift from the right to left. Thus, the SO2 concentration decreases. The SO2 concentration decreases. And if the SO2 concentration decreases, by the SO3 increases, and hence the constant increases.
For a bonus, St. Peter's, Emmanuel.
The forward direction proceeds with absorption of heat. So with increasing temperature, the equilibrium will shift to the right position. So the equilibrium concentration of SO2 will increase, and that of and the Kc will increase. Since Kc.
That is correct. St. Peter's, your major question. Predict the effect of increasing pressure on the equilibrium concentration of SO2 and the equilibrium constant. Yes, David.
Increasing the pressure will cause the equilibrium position to shift to the left. This is because that place proceeds with less number of moles, but the Kc will remain the same.
So the SO2 will decrease, but the Kc is not affected.
That is correct. Opoku Ware Secondary, your question. Why does a spinning ball moving through air tend to follow a curved path? Yes, Opon.
This can be explained by principle of aerodynamics and also by friction and gravity on it. With aerodynamics, as the ball is moving through air, it collides with the molecules and hence friction generated. Hence, the air on the underside, the air on the underside has a higher velocity, and hence the pressure decreases. And hence, by Bernoulli tends to move down, and also gravity tends to accentuate the downward fall. And also by spinning, when the ball is thrown, since it's used the index fingers, it also curves downwards.
I'll give you the mark. St. Peter's Secondary. Why is it dangerous to drive in a vehicle at high speed when the windows are rolled down on one side and rolled up at the other? Emmanuel.
This can be explained by the principle of Bernoulli. As the car is moving, since the air molecules around it is also moving, and since moving air has low pressure, there's high pressure in the car, and this high pressure, as the car moves with a very high speed, can cause the wind.
Because moving air has low pressure, when one side of the window is open, air rushes in and creates a low pressure. So the external atmospheric pressure, because of the pressure gradient that exists, forces the glass, and it can cause breaking of the glass, which can hurt the person.
I'll give 1 mark, okay? Yes, a pressure gradient is created, but the reason you are giving is not working. You've been told that the windows on one side of the car have been rolled up. That means that air flowing over that side will move faster and therefore would have less pressure. And that will create the pressure gradient that can topple the car at high speed. Your question, Opoku Ware Secondary. In the treatment of snake bites, the serum containing the antitoxins is injected. Why do you think the serum is used instead of whole blood? Yes, Anthony.
Okay, the serum is used, since the serum contains the antibody to combat the infection, the serum is used. But if you use the whole blood, since the blood of the blood also consists of the plasma, and also has certain plasma proteins, which can also counteract with the nature of the red blood cells of the recipient. There can be an antigen-antibody reaction which can cause agglutination.
That is correct. St. Peter's Secondary. Anemia, which is the condition of low red blood cell count, is not desirable because red blood cells are needed for the transportation of oxygen to the tissues. On the other hand, a very high red blood cell count is also not desirable. Why? Yes, Emmanuel.
When the red blood concentration is high, their breakdown can produce more toxins in the body, which can...
It's not correct. Solomon.
Because if the red blood cells are more, they tend to accumulate in capillaries and smaller vessels, which can lead to death, as blood cannot be transported easily oxygen cannot be transported easily to cells.
I'll give you the mark. But what you were trying to say is that circulation will be poor, okay? And so there's a possibility of having circulatory problems. Viewers, that brings us to the end of round 2. At the end of the second round, Opoku Ware Secondary School has 37 points. St. Peter's Secondary School has 45 points. We'll move on to round 3, where both schools are posed with the same problem to be attempted in 3 minutes. Contestants, please turn over your sheets. I'll read the problem. The function f is defined by f of x equals 2x plus 1 all over x minus 2. Find a, the domain of f, b, the range of f, c, the inverse of f, d, values of x such that f of x equals x, and e, sketch the graph of f. That, viewers, is the problem of the day.
As I start my day, I know they are counting on me. I am a truck driver for the Ghana Education Trust Fund. My job is to supply books to schools across the country. Whenever I see the school kids, my mind goes back to my school days. I too had hopes and dreams that sadly never came to pass. I made a firm promise to myself that if I couldn't chase my dreams, I would make sure that others could. Seeing these happy kids simply warms my heart. It's happening every day, and I'm proud to be part of Get Fund. Get Fund, we invest in tomorrow's leaders.
You're welcome back. The contestants will now present their solutions. There we are with the contestant solution. I'll now go through what I have. We were given a function f defined as f of x equals 2x plus 1 over x minus 2. And so A, the domain of f, equals the set of x belonging to R such that x is not equal to 2. B, to find the range of f, we have to make x the subject of the formula. So we say let y be equal to 2x plus 1 over x minus 2. And that implies that yx minus 2y equals 2x plus 1, which implies that yx minus 2x equals 2y plus 1. Therefore, x into y minus 2 equals 2y plus 1. And that implies that x equals 2y plus 1 over y minus 2. And therefore, range of f is a set of y belonging to R such that y is not equal to 2. For the C part, we want the inverse of f. From B, we found x to be 2y plus 1 over y minus 2. And therefore, inverse of f is f inverse of x, which is 2x plus 1 over x minus 2. For D, we want the values of x such that f of x equals x. That implies that x equals 2x plus 1 over x minus 2. And therefore, 2x plus 1 equals x into x minus 2. Therefore, x squared minus 4x minus 1 equals 0. And therefore, x equals 4 plus or minus square root of 16 plus 4 all over 2. And that equals 2 plus or minus root 5. Therefore, x equals 2 plus root 5, or x equals 2 minus root 5. And finally, the graph of f would look something like that. This is the graph of x. The mark distribution is as follows. A, 2 marks, B, 4 marks, C, 4 marks, D, 5 marks, E, 5 marks, giving us a total of 20. Now, let's look at the solution from St. Peter's Secondary School. Viewers, you'll notice that St. Peter's had A correct, B correct. All right, when we look at the C part for St. Peter's, they went the long way and did not factorize right to the end, so did not get exactly what we got. And so they lose 2 marks there. Their D was not all done, and their E was wrong. And so they get 12 out of 20. Let's look at the solution from Opoku Ware Secondary. A was correct, B was correct, C was correct, D was not quite finished, they lose 1 mark, the E was not correct. They get 14 out of 20. Let's move on to round 4. There's a preamble to both schools. MnO4- reacts with ethane dioate in acid medium according to the equation 2MnO4- plus 5C2O42- plus 16H plus going to 10CO2 plus 8H2O plus 2Mn2 plus. St. Peter's, calculate the concentration of a KMnO4 solution if 12 cm cubed of it reacted completely with 22.0 cm cubed of 0.30 mole per dm cube solution of ethane dioate in excess acid. Yes, David.
0.22 molar.
That is correct. Opoku Ware, your question. Calculate the volume of 0.80 mole per dm cubed ethane dioate in acid solution that will react with 18 cm cubed of 0.24 mole per dm cubed of MnO4- solution. Yes, Opon.
0.135 molar.
It is not 0.135. We want volume. Yes.
135 cm cube.
You have one last chance. Yes, Anthony.
We have 13.5 cm.
It's 13.5 cm. St. Peter's, your question. An alternating current with a frequency of 1.2 times 10 to power 6 Hz is passed through an inductor of inductance 2 millihenries. Calculate the reactance of the inductor, leaving your answer in terms of pi. Yes, David.
4.8 times 10 to the power 3 pi.
That is correct. Opoku Ware, your question. An alternating current of frequency 200 Hz is passed through a capacitor of capacitance 5 microfarad. Calculate the reactance of the capacitor, leaving your answer in terms of pi. Yes, Anthony.
0.5 over pi. 50 over pi.
It's not 50 over pi. One last chance. Joseph.
500 over pi.
It's 500 over pi. St. Peter's, give me 3 characteristics of insects in the order Odonata. Insects in the order Odonata. Yes, Solomon.
They have a pair of membranous wings, they have distended abdomen, and they have a pair of compound eyes.
I'll give them one. They have 2 pairs of equal size membranous wings. Opoku Ware, give me 3 characteristics of insects in the order Hymenoptera. Give me 3 characteristics of insects in the order. Yes, Anthony.
They have a constricted waist, a narrow waist, and then their forelimbs and the hind limbs are interlocked by hooklets, and then the forewings are larger than the hind wings.
That is correct. The last set of questions for this round, your question, St. Peter's. The operation star is defined on the set R of real numbers by A star B equals A squared plus B squared minus AB for AB belonging to R. Evaluate 2 star negative 2 in brackets star 3. Yes, David.
117.
117 is Opoku Ware Secondary. The operation star is defined on the set R of real numbers by A star B equals square root of A squared plus B squared. The square root affects everything. Evaluate 3 star 4 in brackets star 12. Yes, Anthony.
13.
13 is correct. And that brings us to the end of round 4.
As a little girl, my dream was to become a doctor. I always wanted to help the sick. Now I'm in the dental school together with others who had similar dreams. The support from the Ghana Education Trust Fund has made things a lot better. Their support has helped provide new equipment, teaching aids, improved facilities, and our student loan. We're studying hard, and we know that we can continue to count on support from Get Fund to turn our dreams into reality.
At the end of the 4th round, here are the scores. Opoku Ware Secondary School has 63 points. St. Peter's Secondary School has 69 points. Let's move on to round 5. For the first part, you have 10 seconds to say whether your statement is true or false. Remember, we deduct a mark from your score for an incorrect answer. Your statement, Opoku Ware. All isomers, by definition, differ in their structural formulae. Yes, Anthony.
True.
It is false. St. Peter's Secondary. If a matrix is multiplied by its inverse, the product is the identity matrix. Solomon.
True.
Correct. Opoku Ware Secondary, all disease-causing microorganisms are referred to as pathogens. Anthony, correct. St. Peter's, the thickness of the 10,000 CD note can be accurately measured with a pair of vernier calipers. Yes, Solomon.
False.
That is correct. Opoku Ware Secondary, the graph of y equals x squared minus 1 is obtained from that of y equals x squared by shifting up 1 unit. Yes, Anthony.
False.
That is correct. That is correct. St. Peter's, inorganic molecules with similar chemical formulae have similar shapes. Solomon?
False.
Correct. Opoku Ware. The unit volt per meter is equivalent to Newton per coulomb. Volt per meter is equivalent to Newton per coulomb. Upon?
True.
Correct. St. Peter's, all animals are either strictly primary consumers or strictly secondary consumers. Yes, Solomon.
False.
Correct. Opoku Ware Secondary, heat is absorbed during the homolytic cleavage of covalent bonds. Heat is absorbed during the homolytic cleavage of covalent bonds. Anthony,
False.
it is true. St. Peter's. St. Peter's, a polynomial in two variables cannot have a degree less than 2. Solomon,
False.
that is correct. Opoku Ware Secondary, only the lower eyelid of a frog is mobile. Only the lower eyelid of a frog is Anthony. That is correct. The final statement to you, St. Peter's, the increase in pressure of a gas with temperature can be explained in terms of the increase in speed of the molecules of the gas. Solomon, that is correct. Let's move into the second part of round 5. I'll be reading the clues to 4 riddles as usual, and both schools are competing to be the first to solve a riddle. When they are ready, they call my attention by ringing a bell. Let's hear your bell, St. Peter's Secondary. Let's hear your bell, Opoku Ware Secondary. I wish both schools the best. We'll take the first riddle. A number between 700 and 800. I am an exact square as well as an exact cube. Yes, Joseph.
729.
729. Opoku Ware gets 4 points for that effort and will take the second riddle. I come in all shades of colors. Lack of color, however, is not unusual because I am sometimes colorless. While one cannot be certain about my color, one can be absolutely sure that I am at least 2 in 1. 3 in 1, 4 in 1, or even 100 in 1 are all possibilities. In the presence of any problem or trouble, I quickly provide the way out. What would life... Yes, Anthony.
Life.
Let's take the other clue, St. Peter's. What would life be without my liquid or solid forms? If you know what vinegar, steel, beer, bronze. Solomon. Solution. We'll take the third riddle. Even though I am not a building, I have a yard. I am associated with certain plants, climbing and creeping along the ground. Joseph.
Vineyard.
Let's take the rest of the clue, St. Peter's. Climbing and creeping along the ground are my two favorite pastimes. I am thin but very energetic and active. I feel so important because in the Bible, Jesus likened himself to me. People usually describe me as a climbing plant that bears grapes. Who am I? Emmanuel. Vine. The first part of my name seems to suggest that I am an endangered species. The second part of my name suggests that I am a group within a main group, but with slightly different ideas from those of the main group. I am especially popular in acoustics. I am a region of reduced density. To be precise, I am the local... Did you ring the bell? Yes, upon. Rarefaction. That is all. Viewers, at the end of this exciting grand finale, here are the scores. Opoku Ware Secondary School has 76 points. St. Peter's Secondary School has 87 points. And so finally, our 32-week journey to find the 2005 champions of the National Science and Math Quiz has come to an end. St. Peter's has emerged the champions, and Opoku Ware Secondary School are the runners-up. Congratulations to both schools. At this point, I would like to say thank you to my producer, director, and the entire technical crew for making this year's quiz a success. We want to thank our sponsors, GetFund, GES, and GTP for their help throughout the year. We thank you, viewers. If you had not been watching, we would not be coming to you every Saturday. Thank you for watching. God be with us all till we meet again. Bye for now.
Congratulations, people. We would like to acknowledge the presence here of some distinguished personalities in education who have spent the time to be with us. And I'd like to acknowledge the presence here of Mrs. Sophia Awoche, who is the head of Science Resource, National Science Resource Unit of the Ghana Education Service. With her is Reverend Mr. Awoche. You're welcome. We also have with us Professor Clifford Tego, who is the Provost of the College of Health Sciences and acting Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana. Professor Tego, you're welcome. We have with us also Mr. Moses Ewua from the President's Special Initiative on Distance Learning Secretariat. Mr. Ewua. Mr. Ebo Selby from the West African Exams Council. You remember last year he was with us. Ebo, you're welcome. He has news for us, which I'll tell you later. We have also Mr. Jamra, Mr. Owusu-Arko. We have Jane M.K. Idam, Deputy Director, Secondary Education Division of the DA. We have Mr. Samuel Akomia, a business executive who is very much interested in education. You're welcome. And then Mrs. Amogotrin from Mina Chemicals. If you recall, Mina Chemicals sponsors a prize for chemicals for the winners, the 4 winning schools. You can give to her. Mrs. Amogotrin, you're welcome. And then we have also Ms. Roberta Gardner, Head of Training, GBC Television. Roberta, you're welcome. I'm sure some of you have watched the PSI on distance learning, and you've seen this is mathematics for SSS. Our hostess is here, Mrs. Lucy Asari Nelson. And Lucy. We will now call on Mrs. Awoche to share a few words with us on the program.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mensabon. Management of Prime Time Limited, quiz mistress, and our consultant, Professor Awoche, I hope you are there, and our technical crew, directors of education, headmasters, headmistresses, teachers and students, and our noble contestants. I think today is a very exciting and memorable day. And we wish to congratulate ourselves, the science community. We are all excited. And I'm sure all of us felt the excitement of our brothers from the University of Ghana. They just couldn't hide their excitement, and I think we should understand them. This competition has indeed, over the years, the past 12 years, generated a kind of spirit and revolution in the teaching and learning of science. It has indeed gone a long way to ginger both teachers and students and promoted teaching and learning in our secondary schools. And so at this point in time, we indeed really want to express our appreciation to Prime Time, the GET Fund, for sponsorship. Of course, if you sponsor and you really don't have a competent person or a competent group of people to deliver, your sponsorship wouldn't be anywhere. I want us to give a round of applause to Prime Time. And to the teachers who have sacrificed time and energy and resources to prepare the students. We wish you all the best in your professional career as teachers. We're hoping it wouldn't end there. The Lord should bless you that you find yourselves as headmasters and directors for you to reap the fruits of your labor. So members of the noble profession, we thank you for preparing these students and really bringing them up to this level. And also for the students, it takes something to own up, to present yourself that I want to take part in this competition. It isn't easy. And so for really presenting yourself and making yourselves available to take part, to enhance the program, we say thank you, and may God bless all of you. On this note, I wish, on behalf of the Minister of Education and the Director General, say a big thank you to each and every one of us who has in one way or the other contributed to the success of this program. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. The Pro-Vice Chancellor would like to share a few words as a scientist and a medical person, as an encouragement to all of you science students here. Please, let's welcome Professor Tego.
Thank you very much, Mr. MD of Prime Time. This morning's function I have found very exciting because it has rounded off a week of very heavy activity for me, during which we have been talking science. Only last week at the congregation of the Methodist University in Dansoman, I made a call for increased funding for science education. We have all agreed that we can only progress if we have the needed manpower in science. On Wednesday, the University of Ghana Medical School held its second scientific conference. And again, we took the opportunity to call for increased funding. And I hope that those responsible for this are hearing. At least, what do they say? That if you want to speak to God, you speak to the wind. We hope that whatever we say in here will drift or will at least waft into the ears of those who are responsible for funding education. What I've seen here today from St. Peter's and from Opoku Ware actually gladdens my heart that we have hope. When I look at them, I get the impression, reading in their eyes, that they're probably looking into going, when they finish secondary school, they want to be doctors, they want to be engineers, and they want to be this and that. But this is one of the problems that we have, that we channel all these top science brains into professions where then they go and sit somewhere, either in the consulting room, writing prescription, doing drawings. These are all good. But we want some of you to go into the basic sciences. You must become physicists, you must become chemists, you must become biologists. Because without the basics, we're not going to get anywhere. In any case, if, is it Ion or IO? If Ion had decided to go that way, I don't think St. Peter's would have won this competition. So for all of you young people there, what we're saying is that there is honor in being in the basic sciences. There is honor in teaching, because that is what is going to make all teachers' situation is completely lost. On that note, let me also join the director in congratulating the winning school, and also, although they have lost this game, it is obvious to us that they've come a long way, and you are actually second. You are second. You are not losers in the sense in which we are looking. So please, don't be discouraged. Be rather encouraged that with this performance, all you have to do is build a little upon it, and next year, you probably will be the first to win the competition for a third time. Okay. I thank Mr. Mensah Bonsu for the opportunity to share my thoughts with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. Please give Prof a big hand. By the way, Prof is not from Opoku Ware, so don't take that he's playing cousin brother here. He's an old Augustine's man. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the presentation of prizes. And the fourth prize, we'd like to call Mrs. Idam to do us the honors and present the fourth prize to GSTS Takoradi, and that is for an amount of 8 million cedis to the school for the purchase of science equipment and math books or mathematical sets. A check for 8 million cedis. And for the students, not compensation, but for refreshment, 800,000 cedis for the teachers, 800,000 cedis for refreshment. We will now come to the third prize, which goes to Presbyterian Boys Secondary School, Presec, and it's a cash prize of 10 million cedis for science equipment, which will be presented by Mr. Ebu Selby from the West African Exams Council. We'll call on the teacher to come. Mr. Nkansa, for those who do not know, Mr. Nkansa once won the Best Teacher Award for science, yes, in Ghana here. So please acknowledge him properly. Thank you. A check for 10 million cedis. And then for the teachers, 1 million cedis, and for the students, 1 million cedis. Thank you very much, Mr. Selby. Thank you. Congratulations. Opoku Ware Secondary School, twice champions of the competition, 1997 and 2002. Today, runners-up, which means that my trophy is safe. I wasn't praying that it should be retained, but, well, if it didn't go away for good, I'm very happy. And Achimota, as a headmaster, says that they are very happy that St. Peter's won, only on account of the fact that they would be the first school to win the trophy for good. Well, Achimota, did you hear that? You are not confident here. And now we'll call on Professor Tego to please come and do us the honor. A check for 15 million cedis. Cash prize of 1.5 each for teachers, 1.5 for the students. Thank you very much. And now the very big boys. The winners. Now, the teachers who have joined the NDC of twice winners. So we'd like to welcome them appropriately. And we'd like our chief to come, Mrs. Adumato, to come with the trophy. A cash prize of 20 million cedis for St. Peter's, the trophy, which will come back next year. But St. Peter's will give you a trophy to keep. Cash prize of 2 million cedis for the teachers, 2 million cedis for the students. Please give them a standing ovation. Please acknowledge them properly. Thank you very much. Once again, we would like to thank the Ministry of Education and the GET Fund, our main sponsors. This year, we'd like also to acknowledge that GPP provided the fabric for the costume of the quiz mistress, 32 half pieces, and we are very grateful to GTP. We are also grateful to Chelsea Limited for its continued support, providing a tabletop fridge to the winning school. Achimota and Presec will collect theirs today because they'll be bringing them in, and then St. Peter's will collect theirs later. We'd also like to acknowledge GBC, our partners who have shown this program for the past 12 years on its network. We'd like to thank our quiz mistress, Mrs. Eureka Emefa Adumako, Professor Awache, and our crew. I'd like to say a very big thank you to our consultants, that we say a very big thank you. And we'll see you all next year. Pray for traveling mercies for all those who are going back, for everybody. Thank you all, and congratulations, everybody. Thank you.